Houston. Houston, we have a problem. DJ Apollo has landed. I repeat, DJ Apollo has landed at Hipmix 88.9 WEIU.
Welcome to the Tales of Music and Film podcast. My name is DJ Apollo, or aka Christian Taylor, and thank you for clicking on today's episode. I'm super excited because today we're back on the topic of music. I'm doing one of my last recordings here at Eastern Illinois University before I graduate this Saturday. Super excited. I got 2 recordings left, and both of them are going to be about the topic of music because I kind of took a hiatus from talking about music for a while. The last month has been nonstop movies, especially slasher films. So I'm very happy that I'm getting a chance to, go back to music for a minute. 'Cause it's just been nonstop movies, which isn't a bad thing, but I also like doing some music every now and again. So today we're gonna be covering an album by a band that I kind of grew up listening to. Cause both my parents are huge fans of this band. We are covering the album Animalize by one of the biggest rock groups of all time, Kiss. Now, Kiss is a band that I'm very familiar with. There were a lot of bands that I heard playing in the house growing up when I was a kid. Like, the top bands I heard a lot growing up was Kiss, Metallica, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, just to name a couple, even Stained every once in a while. But yeah, those are the bands that I heard all the time growing up in the house. And my dad, I'm not kidding you, he has every single Kiss record ever released on vinyl. He has all of them. And I've actually borrowed a couple of them and put them in my record collection. So I've been listening more of Kiss's music the last year or two. I'm still getting into their stuff, but I find myself listening to a lot of their early work. But the last year, I find myself loving their older 80s material. The early 80s, I think, was some of their best work. The Lick It Up album and Animalize, I love those two so much. The early 80s, man, they had a lot of good stuff. And what's very exciting is that my parents' graduation gift for me is that the 3 of us are going to be seeing Kiss live in St. Louis on October 6th of this year, which I'm still trying to grasp. I cannot believe that we are going to go and do that. To say that I'm excited for this concert is an understatement. I never thought a million years I'd ever get a chance to see Kiss because I made a Google Doc with a list of bands that I hope to see someday. And I also made another list for bands I wish I could have gotten a chance to see. And I put Kiss on that list thinking that I was never going to get a chance to see them because if for anyone who doesn't know, Kiss is on their final tour right now, supposedly. This is Goodbye Tour number 3 or 4. Their first one was back in 1996. Anyway, they're doing one last tour, and the band just turned 50 years old this year. They formed in 1973. And they're going to be in St. Louis on October 6th. This is going to be their last time. And man, I just cannot stop thinking about it. It's just I'm gonna see Kiss. I never thought I would ever say those words, ever. So I'm trying to listen to more of their music to get prepped for the show, man. It's gonna be one heck of a show. And so let's get into the album for a minute here. So Animalize is the 12th studio album by American rock band Kiss. It was released on September 17th of 1984 by Mercury Records. The album marked the only appearance by lead guitarist Mark St. John, who replaced Vinnie Vincent in April of 1984. Let's see here. The genre for this album is glam metal. Label, Mercury. Producer, Paul Stanley. Studio, Right Track Recording in New York City. Now, I'm not surprised at all that the genre is glam rock. If you watch any of the music videos promoting this album, man, the outfits that Kiss wears is absolutely hilarious. It just screams 80s, especially Heaven's on Fire. The music video for that is absolutely hilarious. But I'll get more into that here in a little bit. But for now, let's talk about the main lineup for Kiss. So Kiss has had a lot of lineup changes over the 50-year career. Paul Stanley is one of the members who's been there from beginning to end. He is the lead and backing vocals, and he's the rhythm guitarist. And then the second member to be in the band all the way through is Gene Simmons. He's the lead and backing vocals. He is the bass guitar player. And here's where we get to members who are in and out. So I'm going off of the Kiss lineup for when the album Animalize was recorded. So we have Eric Carr, who is on drums, backing vocals, lead vocals on Young and Wasted and Black Diamond. And then we have Bruce Kulick, who is lead guitar and backing vocals on I Love It Loud. And he actually ended up replacing the guitarist before him, Mark St. John, and this was the only album that he played on. At the time of the record's release, Gene Simmons was pursuing a career in acting, so Paul Stanley was thus he was primarily in charge of the album's production and direction. New guitarist Mark St. John stated that when recording the album, he had utilized his rock band gear and that heavy equalization was used to take the Boston sound out of the recording. St. John was forced to temporarily leave Kiss before the subsequent tour after being diagnosed with reactive arthritis. While he accompanied the group on tour and convalesced, the group hired Bruce Kulick as a temporary replacement. Kulick gelled with the band's personalities and playing styles better than St. John. By November of 1984, St. John was fired and replaced by Kulick permanently, making him the third lead guitarist to exit the group in 2 years. When asked what Animalize meant, Paul Stanley said that people were becoming more like computers and that making music by pressing buttons was no fun. In a continuation of Kiss' commercial resurgence, which had began back in '83 with the album Lick It Up, Animalize was certified platinum by the RIAA. It was the biggest selling Kiss album since 1979 Dynasty. Heaven's on Fire became the biggest hit from the album, as well as one of the only songs to survive the band's live set list after the 80s, and its music video received heavy MTV rotation. It is also the only music video appearance of Mark St. John. So yeah, it's pretty some pretty interesting information there. Like, I listened to a good portion of the Animalize album in preparation for this recording, and I can't say though, man, that album is amazing. I love the sound on this one, man. Like, dude, I'm telling you, Kiss, they apparently the couple of albums that came out before Animalize didn't do so weren't selling as well as they'd hoped for. So Animalize kind of it was a big resurgence, I think, for Kiss. The album sound on this is pure 80s. And man, whoever was in charge of the sound design and all that for this album's got it, man. It's fire, to say the least. Critics and longtime fans, however, criticized the band's continued move towards a glam metal style on Animalize. Simmons fell into increasing conflict with his bandmates during this period for various reasons. Most of this revolved around his perceived lack of commitment to the band and preoccupation with numerous outside projects, including producing and managing other rock groups such as Black and Blue, of whom Tommy Thayer was a member at the time, a co-starring role in Runaway 1984, bit parts in films like Trick or Treat and Assortment Business Ventures. Guitar World magazine later placed the album on their list of new citations of 50 iconic albums that defined 1984. And I'm not surprised at all, man, because, Animalize, I'm so excited. This is the album that I picked to discuss today. And I'm definitely going to have to listen to the whole thing from beginning to end. But I've listened to a good majority of it. This might be my favorite Kiss album. My favorite before this was Dynasty from 1979, but I think this one might overtake it. But before Animalize, we had albums like Unmasked and Creatures of the Night, and then we had Lick It Up. I heard those albums were good, but I don't think they sold not nearly as well as the predecessors before. So I think Animalize really brought the band back. I love the songs that they wrote for this one. Every single song on here, it's just one of those things. Like when you listen to music for long enough, especially like 80s stuff, your ears really start to notice like that 80s sound that I don't think you could recreate in today's world because, man, just the amount of energy that those songs like give me when I listen to them, I feel like I could run a marathon with the songs on this album. Like it gets you boosted, like it makes you want to run as fast as you can go for miles, you know? It's like a huge like adrenaline rush. But going into the songs here for a minute, this whole thing, the Animalize has a lot of songs on here that really are all amazing. Like I'm saying this right now, when I was looking into this, looking for songs to pick, it was very hard because obviously I can't cover all of them, otherwise this recording would be way too long. But man, this album has so many good ones. But the songs that I picked today that I want to cover is Heaven's on Fire, I've Had Enough, Into the Fire, Get All You Can Take, Under the Gun, and Murder in High Heels. These 5 songs, I think, are the best ones off this record, and that's just my personal opinion, but man, these songs kick some serious rock and roll butt. And, oh man, Heaven's on Fire, I'm saying this now, I think this song might be my favorite Kiss song. This is like one of the first Kiss songs I think I ever actually listened to growing up. I was introduced to Kiss through, I think some of the first songs I heard by them, you know, was like Shout It Out Loud, I Was Made for Loving You, like that kind of stuff. You know, the songs that were played on the radio like every day. So those are like some of their most like famous songs. But Heaven's on Fire is being my mom's favorite Kiss song. Her and I both like the later stuff, especially the early 80s. My dad, on the other hand, he likes Kiss's earlier stuff, so like mid-late 70s. And let's take a look here. So if we look into the lyrics for Animalize, let's see here. So first song, Heaven's on Fire, we got, I look at you and my blood boils hot. I feel my temperature rise. I want it all. Give me what you got. It's hunger in your eyes. Yeah, I don't think I even need to say anything. I think we all know what this song is talking about. I'm not going to say it, but I think we know. Let's keep this PG. But anyway, I'm getting closer, baby. Hear me breathe. There's this cool thing that like Gene Simmons does. Not Gene Simmons, sorry, Paul Stanley. Like when you listen to him sing on this track, he does this cool thing. He like puts his mouth right in front of the microphone. He does like this, like just to hear him breathing. And then the lyrics continue. You know the way you know the way to give me what I need. Just let me love you, and you'll never leave. So, yeah, we're continuing the thing here. It's about a man getting together with a woman. Feel my heart, take you higher, burn with me, heaven's on fire, paint the sky with desire, angel fly, heaven's on fire. So that's kind of like the chorus part. That section replays itself a couple of times. Now we get into the second verse here. It goes on with, I got a fever raging in my heart, you make me shiver and shake. Baby, don't stop, take it to the top, eat it like a piece of cake. Oh my gosh. I think that's my favorite lyric in the entire song. Like, even when I was younger, I caught on to that. It's like, piece of cake, huh? You know, like, I always thought it was so funny. Dude, the lyrics on this, I'm kind of curious to see, like, what was the inspiration, you know, for writing this one? You're coming closer, baby. I can hear you breathe. You drive me crazy when you start to tease. You could bring the devil to his knees. And then we got the chorus again. And let's see here. And paint the sky with desire. Angel fly. Heaven's on fire. Feel my heat. Taking you higher. Burn with me. Heaven's on fire. And that's about it as far as the chorus goes. And I think, I mean, overall, I think we all know what this song's talking about. It's basically about a man and a woman having a good time together. I'll put it that way. But I mean, I'm not surprised one bit. It's just kind of like, what 80s song didn't talk about that? You know, it's like, my gosh, you know, how many songs have been written about, you know, love making? Like, my gosh, millions at this point. I think that's like the fave topic to make songs about. Like, my gosh, I think half of AC/DC's songs, that's their that's the thing they're talking about. But anyway, we're gonna move on to the second song here. Now, this one, oh man, this one kicks butt. I've had enough. Into the Fire. Now, man, this one, I'm telling you now. Before I continue, though, one last thing I want to tell you about. Heaven's on Fire, dude. That guitar riff is so amazing. I just have to give a shout out, man. That riff is one of the most amazing riffs I've ever heard in my life. Like, dude, you could, like, dude, the shredding for that song, you need to hear it for yourself. But I'm saying this now, man. That is, like, one of the greatest riffs I've ever heard. You want to talk about some heavy stuff, man. That's heavy. But now we're going to get back to the second song here. I've had enough. Into the Fire. So here we go. The lyrics start off like this. Come on, how many times have they lied with the truth in their eyes? Treat you like dirt, wasting the days of our lives. They try and deny it, ain't gonna buy it. Just look around. Before it's all over, it's gonna get rough. I've had enough. So that first verse there is kind of making me wonder. Okay, so we all know the drill. I like to dive into the lyrics and try to see if I can come up with an idea on what the lyrics are talking about. I'm not gonna research it or anything, because I think that takes the fun out of it. Because I feel like any song is open to any kind of interpretation. And I like talking about, you know, just what I think it might be talking about, you know, just sharing what I think it might be talking about. Now, this first verse here, here's the idea. It's got me thinking. I believe this is a guy saying it's a guy going his own way, where he thinks that women aren't worth it anymore, and he's had enough with women and how they are. So it's just like, you know what? I'm done dating. And I just had enough. I'm going my own way. So I'm wondering if that's what it's talking about. I mean, maybe it's not, but that's what it feels like to me. So then we get to the chorus, and it goes like this. Out of the cold, into the fire. Nothing and no one is stopping me now. Out of the cold, into the fire. Oh, just hang tough, and we'll make it somehow. So I feel like that's even reinforcing the point even more. I feel like that's kind of like going into the single fact that, like, there is nobody in his way now stopping him from reaching his full potential. Now, I'm not saying women do that, but I feel like there are some instances where guys end up getting into very toxic relationships and the woman stops the guy from reaching his full potential. And I feel like now this guy is, like, single again. He's now free to become the best version of himself. And now we get to the next big section of lyrics. So let's see here. How many times have you given up more than you got, counting on things turning out, but you know they ain't gonna take it, kick it and break it, just like around before, all over again. It's gonna get rough. I've had enough. Now this, I feel like, is talking about the simple fact that this guy has had a lot of bad luck in his life. And women have always treated him bad. They've always beaten him to the curb. And they've all just been, you know, a burden to him, you know. And they've made him feel terrible. And he's been broken how many times? Now he looks around, it's over. My life's rough already. But you know what? I've had enough. So we're going to skip the next couple of chorus sections. Now we get to this. Wishing and hoping won't get you nothing. Praying and scheming, no time for dreaming. I've got the power. This is the hour. Now, whoa. So that, I feel like, is reinforcing you more. It's like, okay, I'm going to follow my dreams now. I'm not going to let any more scumbag women get in my way. And I'm going to go out there and make a difference. I'm going to do something with my life, and I'm going to learn from my mistakes. I'm just going to keep rolling. And I feel like the chorus are kind of talking about, you know, wishing, hoping ain't going to do you nothing. You got to get off your butt and go do something. Don't just sit there and wish and hope for stuff. You got to go out there and make it happen. You got the power. It's now your hour. And then we get into the ending chorus. Out in the cold, into the fire. Oh, nothing and no one has stopped me now. Out in the cold, into the fire. Come on. Now, I feel like that's just kind of like, all right, life. Let's go make something. So I feel like that could be what the song's talking about, is a man going his own way and he's checking out of relationships. Now that could be the case, but man, that's got some pretty good lyric play. That was a very good one to analyze here. Now that's going to bring us to song number 3, and I'm reviewing 5 songs, so we got 3 to go. This next one we got here, Get All You Can Take. So let's take a look at this one. This one I really enjoyed a lot. Really good one. I feel like this song is kind of underrated. Like this, and I've had enough. Like, I don't hear that, passed around a lot in the Kiss community. It's always talking about, shout it out loud, or I was made for loving you, or Detroit Rock City, like all those. But no one ever, I don't think much people talk about these. It's a darn shame. So, first section of lyrics for Get All You Can Take. I don't know about the modern ways of life. I didn't really care. I never gave a damn about the future. I never got my share. Somebody said, but your time's a wasting. You're moving much too slow. So many things in life worth tasting. So much you ought to know. Look out. You know what? Oh man, you know what that feels like to me? This feels like okay, here's what I'm imagining right now. I'm imagining this older guy giving a younger guy some life advice. I'm just imagining, right? Maybe it's like, I don't know, because the vibe that this is giving me, it's like this guy is like passing on his life advice onto the next generation of youth. Like you're wasting your time. You only get one life. Life is full of opportunities. Look out. You need to get your share, because I didn't. Don't make the same mistakes that I did. Like, I'm just imagining this guy, like, telling this group of kids, like, listen, don't make the same mistakes I did. You all have so much potential. You have so much life ahead of you. Take opportunities. Take the risks. Make good friends, because I didn't, and look where that got me. That's what I'm imagining. Then it continues with the chorus section, which goes like this. And this gets repeated a few times. Get down, fool around. If you got half a chance, you take it. Oh yeah, stand your ground. You got to bend the rules to make it. Hold tight, see the light. Think of all dues you're paying. So true, I'm telling you. Wise up, can't you hear me saying? So I feel like this is kind of talking about, like, you got half a chance at, living a good life, maybe. Maybe it's like it's like a 50-50. You have a big chance of living a good life, but another half, there's a good chance that you'll screw it up. And it's like, hold tight, see the light. So I feel like it's kind of like saying to you, like, no matter how bad it gets, get up and keep moving forward. Wise up and just keep moving. I'm telling you, it'll get better. So then we get to the next big section of lyrics, which goes like this. People looking, eyes wide open, tell me what you see. Body's tired, mind's a choking. You gotta set them free. Don't think about the race they're running. They'll never get you in with all the rules. It's a race of fools, and you can never win. Look out. So I feel like this one right here is a straight up jab at how people, live in a society. Instead of like living for themselves, they like try to blend in and be like everybody else. Like their eyes are wide open, but it's like they don't care. It's like so many people who live in this society rules, it's like they're miserable and sad, and they're trying to make others feel the same way they do, because misery loves company. Like they follow all these rules that society tells them to follow, and these people are never going to win at life. And it's like, it's kind of like, the youth needs to look at them and realize that this is not a good way to live a life. Like, you got to live for you and do what you want to do, and don't listen to these stupid society rules that they tell you have to follow. You live your life the way you want to. You got to get all you can take. Sing along. Got to keep on humming. Stop waiting for your lucky break. Stop waiting, wasting time. What an effing difference does it make? Oh, got to keep it coming. You got to get all you can take. Don't you know I'm going to take what's mine? So, yeah, I think that further, hammers home the fact that like you gotta don't waste your time and you gotta go out there and make a big difference. And you got good stuff coming your way, but you gotta earn it. You have to work hard, and you're gonna take what's yours. And I feel like that's what that song's talking about. I firmly believe that might be the case on what that song's meaning is talking about. So another very, very good one. Dude, these are like some of the most interesting lyrics I think I've ever seen. I had no idea that Kiss would go to this, like, this level. But I mean, then again, it could be something completely different. Like, if you have listened to the American Pie recording that me and my buddy Preston did, like, that whole thing really opened up my mind to, like, the simple fact of, like, people have a big habit of, like, thinking there's, like, this bigger meaning behind stuff, especially with songs, and there's not, like, at all. Like, sometimes hearing the stories about how so many songs came to be the way they were and where the inspiration came from, it's pretty funny, because it's like sometimes inspiration comes from the most random of times and places. So now that's going to lead us to song number 4, titled Under the Gun. And I personally, I believe this is another very underrated Kiss song that I think deserves a little more recognition. But let's see here. So the first chorus we got going here, looking for a thrill, you'll get it my way. Let's hit the highway, I'll take you down, shoot out in the night, looking for action. The main attraction is back in town. Press the pedal to the metal. Oh, your mark, set, go. So I'm imagining it's like, okay, I'm imagining a group of friends, right? And like some kind of like old car, a Charger maybe, driving down the highway at night. They're like driving into town for like a night out or something. And they're just going down the highway, going like 60 or 70 miles an hour. They're going to go out in the town and have some fun. And then the main chorus, we got do your living on the trigger, walk the wire. When the stakes are getting bigger, take aim and fire. So I'm wondering if it's like this group of friends are going out into town and they're going to have themselves some fun. They're going to walk on the wire. So it's like, you know, they're not going to be playing it safe. They're going to go out there and up the stakes or something. Now, what that means, I'm not sure, though. Maybe they'll like go to like the bowling alley and talk with some girls or something. That's the kind of feel that I get. So then we cut to, I don't need a reason to get crazy. I'm getting crazy and that's enough. Show me something strange and make it strong and make it stranger. I swear that danger runs in my blood. So I'm wondering if these guys are like a bunch of like adrenaline junkies where it's like they want to feel like the biggest thrill that you could ever feel. Like they're going to take like these big risks or something. Like they love that feeling of like adrenaline. And then you get back to the chorus. Press the pedal to the metal. On your mark, set, go. When the dust begins to settle, everybody's going to know. So I'm wondering if it's like these guys are kind of like, you know, heck with it. I'm done playing it safe tonight. We're going to change ourselves and we're going to go out and take a lot of risks. That's what it feels like. So, yeah, there's no speed limit where I'm coming from. Let's hit the highway now, 69. So, yeah, the thought that's running through my head, these guys are like driving in like a 69 Dodge Charger and they're like just driving down the highway without a care in the world. And then we get to press the pedal to the metal on your mark, set, go. When the dust begins to settle, everybody's going to know. So I wonder if that last section there, when the dust begins to settle, everybody's going to know. I wonder if it's like once the dust settles after your big adrenaline adventure, everybody's going to finally see the full you. That's the theme I seem to be getting. Then we get to the final part. Do your living on the trigger, walk the wire. When the stakes are getting bigger, take aim and fire. Come on, boys, fire. I can't hear you. Fire, fire. And what's pretty cool, though, about this song, I actually read this really cool comment. This guy was talking about how he saw Kiss on this tour. And he said that when he was leaving the concert, his voice hurt very bad because he was yelling fire at the top of his lungs when Kiss was performing this song Under the Gun. Like the entire crowd would just, you know, chant fire, come on boys, fire, you know, like that's pretty cool. Like, man, I've been to some concerts, like I'd be yelling at max volume at the stage, and my voice would be like half gone, you know. So I get the feeling, I really do. But man, that was a very fun one to cover. And now it's going to lead us to the last song that I wanted to talk about, which is called Murder in High Heels. This is a very different title for a song. But this is actually the last song on the album. This is the one that ends the record. So let's see how Kiss ended the album. So with this one, let's take a look here. So we got the first list of lyrics. Why do I want to keep saying course? Oh my gosh, man! Last week at college, and my brain is French fried. Hope my brain can last a few more days. I'm almost there, walking the red carpet this Saturday. So let's see if my if my brain could hold out till then. So let's see here. First lyric list. We got "Hey" with a sleight of hand, and then a word of mouth. She's a cat, been caged too long, and now she's breaking out. Well, get it straight. You better cross your heart, 'cause sparks are gonna fly. Let me tell you what it's all about. So I'm wondering, okay, I'm imagining, okay, this is what I'm getting. It's making me think of the movie Grease a little bit, where the main girl, right, where she, now I had not seen the movie, so if I get this wrong, I do apologize. But the thing that I got from that movie is, like, the main girl is, like, she was raised in, like, I'm assuming it was, like, a religious household where it's, like, she's been the good Christian girl her whole life, but she's never really, like, quote, gotten her hands dirty. And she was kind of sheltered a little bit, and she never really got to go out and experience things. And it's like she took off the Christian girl clothes and put on, you know, like 80s, like rock and roll clothing. And she's like going out town to talk with some boys or something, go to like a bar or something, and like break out of this shell that she's been in her whole life. And it's like the sparks are going to start flying, like she's ready to go out and experience things, and she's going to tell these guys what it's all about. That's the theory that I'm getting from that. But the song continues. Better run for cover, babe. She's going to make her move. You know she could. She's a get-rich B word. You better get her while the getting's good. So I'm wondering if, like, there's, like, two stories going on here. It's like one side, you got the girl who's trying to break out of this sheltered life, and you got this guy with a friend of his who's trying to convince, like, dude, check this girl out. You gotta go over there and talk to her. And the getting ain't gonna get any better than this. I feel like there's these two guys, like, they went out to the bar to have a drink, and the girl's there, and the friend's, like, trying to convince the other friend, like, to go talk to her. And then it continues with, she's a vision in leather, like salt on a wound, just a turn of a knob, and she's real, fine-tuned. So I'm wondering if that's talking about, you know, like leather for, like, she's got, like, a leather biker jacket on and stuff, like in the Grease movie. And she's really showing her real self, finally, and she's fine-tuned. But she's murder in high heels, and that's the lyrics to continue with. So I'm wondering if that means, like, there's a lot of things about herself that she's hidden for so long, and she wants to open up about it with someone. Then it continues with, she ain't the girl next door, worth a waiting for. Well, she played with the fire, a pull of sweets lying on the floor. She'll bring you to your knees, and when you're laid to rest, she's going to give you something. She's going to get it off her chest. Yeah. So I'm wondering if that's, like, talking about how, like, there's more mystery to her than what meets the eye, and that she will blow your mind with what she wants to talk to you about or something. That's just my idea. Like, she'll open up a lot about how she views life, and you'll be completely, like, blown away with her answers about how to live life and stuff. Like, that's my idea, but who knows. She's a vision in leather, like a saw on a wound. Oh yeah, just turn of a knob, and she's real. Fine-tuned, here she comes. And then the song ends with that same verse again, and the final lyric goes, she is murder in high heels. Now that last lyric, I'm still trying to wrap my head around on what that means. I wonder if that's talking about how, like, she is like a real good woman and that she can take down guys one by, like, there's gotta be a line of guys that will want to talk to her or something. And that wraps it up, talking about that last song. And man, I gotta tell you, these lyrics, getting to do a deep dive like this was actually, you know, very interesting. I did not look at these songs beforehand because I wanted it to be a surprise. Like, I wanted you guys to be wondering, you know, the same things that I was, you know, looking them over. Like, I wanted us to go through it together. So I really wish I could do this live because I wish I could have like a comment section on the screen, so like I could see comments on people, like, you know, posting what they think the song may be talking about. Like, that'd be such a cool interacting thing to do because I love hearing about people's ideas and why they think on what they think the meaning is behind something, you know. And that's why I think one of the reasons why music connects us so well, we identify with the music for different reasons, you know. Like, we view this song like this, while others view it like that, you know. Like, everybody interprets, you know, an artist's work in millions of different ways, and it's a very, very fun subject to talk about. But that is going to wrap it up for covering these songs for Animalize. But I highly recommend that you check out this album. Like, Animalize, I think, is a very good album. The sound on this is like pure 80s, and I want to talk about the Heavens on Fire music video because I just want to go into I want to talk about this for a minute because, like, dude, you want to talk about an 80s time capsule. It's just like, dude, the outfits that these guys wore for this, like, this whole music video is just, it's insane. Like, I'm literally watching it on my phone right now, and like the stage setup, the outfits, like Paul Stanley literally has like these earrings on, and like Gene Simmons, like, they're wearing like these 80s looking outfits, you know. It's just it is so 80s. And you got the drummer who's literally, he looks like he's wearing an outfit made from like a zebra or something. It's just like, what are these outfits? And the guitars they're playing are super shiny. I just think it's so funny just how 80s. And you got Gene Simmons with his Axe bass guitar, which is very famous, by the way. I didn't get to see Gene Simmons in person, but he was at the St. Louis Fan Expo back in 2017. It was the second year that I went to it, and he was there. He was sitting at a booth, but of course he had it covered up. But the only way you could see him is if you got in line and walked to the very front of the booth where he was sitting at the table, because, you know, he's the Gene Simmons. Like, you have to pay to see him. But one of my favorite things about it is that they had a section of replicas of Kiss guitars, and I actually got to pick up one of them. It was this gray, shiny bass guitar, and my then girlfriend, her name was Gracie, she took a picture of me holding it, and man, that was cool. Unfortunately, I never got that picture from her, but nonetheless, getting to hold that guitar was actually pretty cool because, like, Kiss's equipment that they use for their shows are very cool. Like, they have some of the coolest looking guitars that I've ever seen. But I would highly recommend you check out the music video because it's really good. I wonder how long it must have taken to film this, but man, it's just like, it is an 80s time capsule. It's like, you watch this, it's just, you know, the way it looks, just like, yep, that's 80s. But yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to that music video. But that's going to wrap it up talking about the famous Kiss album Animalize. I'm very happy that I got the opportunity to talk about this album and just, you know, share my thoughts on the lyrics and some of the songs and how I'm really starting to get more into Kiss. And I'm not sure what else I'm going to listen to because I got until October, so I got plenty of time, to get prepped for this show. But man, I can't wait to see them live. It's just like, man, this is gonna be one heck of an experience, and I'm gonna cherish every moment. I'm gonna try my best to really enjoy it, because not many people get this opportunity, because I've gotten a chance to see so many amazing musicians live. I've gotten to see so many amazing shows that I will hold dear to my heart for the rest of my life. So getting to see Kiss with my parents is going to be a very amazing experience, because both my parents have seen Kiss already. My mom saw them live when she was a teenager, and my dad saw them live twice. So getting to see them live with my parents, it's going to be a very, very special trip, and I'm super excited. So hope you enjoyed this recording, and until next time, my name is DJ Apollo, and you are listening to the Tales of Music and Film.